Yo, we back with another one and another one and another one, man. This is where we're all thinking podcast stories behind the graph. I got a special guest for y'all today. This is somebody that been rocking with me for a long time, man. Been seeing my grind. We've been grinding together at one point. Now he's here doing his thing. He acts, he writes, creative director. Whatever you want him to do, he could do it. All hands on deck, man. So without further ado, man, go introduce yourself.
My name is Paul G. Runner Simon. I am an actor, director, creative director, program manager. I do a bunch of stuff, man. Just an all around general hustler, man.
Definitely,
That's
man.
what I am.
Grinder. So, word of the day today.
The word of the day today consistency.
Why consistency?
Well, because a lot of people like to give up when they feel like um, something ain't going the way it's supposed to go. They feel like, all right, well, I need to switch hustles or do something else. And a lot of people miss the fact of being consistent is what takes you to the next level. There's a saying called 3 feet from gold. I think it's in Think and Grow Rich
Mm-hmm.
by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
3 feet from gold, where there's the man that dug. He dug for gold for days and days, and then he forgot. He just was like, "Yo, I'm giving up." So the next man came in there, boop, hit gold right there. He was 3 feet from it.
Mm,
You gotta be consistent, man. If you stop, if you give up, that's when you lost.
for sure. So, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, where you come from, things of that nature.
Originally from Washington Heights, New York. That's where I was born and halfway raised a little bit. Then moved to Newport News, Virginia, years and years and years ago, and I was there for years, on and off. Moved to D.C., back in different places. But then just recently moved here 2 years ago. But Newport News, VA, Seven City, Virginia. If y'all don't know, that's where Iverson and Mike Vick and all of them from. Like they from the same hood.
Definitely. So, what was it like out there for the people who don't
Yeah.
know? What was the like upbringing? What you was getting into out there?
If y'all don't know about bad news, it's called bad news for a reason. It's crazy. I think what happens, just like in generally in any city in America or anywhere around the world where there's poverty, there's crime. There's not a lot of jobs, there's crime. Especially in the Commonwealth where there's a lot of people getting locked up, getting felonies. So then there's less jobs for people to
Mm-hmm.
get. So um, it's an impoverished area. I think the area is like 65% black. It's especially downtown. It's a historic area that because it's one of the only places that we own property on waterfront.
Wow.
But there's a lot of projects on the waterfront too. So of course, gentrification is coming. It's been rearing its ugly head for the past 5, 10 years, but it's a crazy area, man. I got into a lot of things I shouldn't have got into, but I guess it grew me and made me the person I am today.
So, what you like was doing? Like, was you into sports? Was you always a natural hustler? Was you selling stuff, or what kind of things you would get into?
Oh man, when I was younger, I was a hustler. It just was what it was.
T-shirts, newspapers. What you was getting into?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. we I guess when I first started, I would sell like rulers and candy and everything in school. I think that's how it always starts. And my family was into other things, and I got into all of that, which eventually landed me doing 6 years in prison and doing my time or whatever. Man, I got a whole story about as far as what I've been through. I've been shot a bunch of times, hit by cars and stuff like that. I've been through a lot.
Damn,
Like yeah,
hit by a car is crazy.
yeah, I died. They brought me back.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Yeah,
saying that.
I died. They brought me back. I got metal rods in both legs from knee down. Like yeah, had to learn how to walk again. It's
So how was
crazy.
that experience?
That I guess a lot of people say like when you die, they're like, oh, I saw this thing and da da da. I don't know. I didn't see that at that point in my life. The person I was, I mean, shit, maybe it was hell. I don't know. I don't know what it was at that point in my life. I was so just out there that the only thing that I remember from that whole situation is I remember just being like, yo, I got more to do. I got stuff to do. I was angry all the time, just a lot, because I had a lot going on in my life. So it was just like, nah, I can't go. Like I remember that feeling. I think the paramedics and everybody said like in the ambulance they were like, yo, it was crazy. They came back and saw me like days later after my surgeries and everything. And they were like, yo, you're the only person I know that was because I was fading out and coming back, and I would come back and crack a joke. I'm like talking shit, and cracking jokes, and then I would fade out again and come back and talk shit and crack jokes. They were like, "Yo, we've never seen nobody do that before, so we had to come and just meet you." And I was like, "Yeah, that's just who I am." I'm at the time they in there. I'm on my phone and talking on the hospital phone, and that's back when you had pagers. I had a pager and everything. I was like, you know what I'm saying? It was yeah. That experience was crazy. Um, it was definitely one of those experiences where I learned how to deal with pain in a different way, and like you have a different blockage for pain, and it's weird because they say like pain lets you know you're still alive,
Hmm.
and I got to a point where I could just kind of numb things out and go to a different place, and I still can do that to this day.
So, what was like some of the lessons you've learned throughout that process of dying and coming back, learning how to deal with pain in a certain way, and how did that mold you into the man you are today?
Ah, a couple different ways. I think once you've dealt with things and seen things on another scale of life, and you've dealt with real pain, serious like mind blowing pain, a lot of other things they don't bother you as much. You learn patience. You learn like how to walk again. It's a process. So you learn patience, and you learn that there's a step to step process to everything. You can't just go from here to here. And I think a lot of people, I deal with this with my son all the time. A lot of people think like you're supposed to step on a court and be Michael Jordan, or you're supposed to come in a podcast game and be fucking Joe Rogan. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
People don't understand it's a step by step process. You got to take every step. And I think that's mainly what it taught me. It was like, yo, you can't skip the steps. You gotta just go through it. You gotta go through the pain. You gotta go through the hard parts. You gotta go through the points of being broke or whatever's gonna happen in order to get to where you're gonna go.
So, after that lesson and things that you learned from there, what was the next steps after that?
Well, at that point in my life,
Hmm.
man, I was young, I was crazy, and I was angry.
Still after that,
Oh yeah, even more,
what
even
you
more.
think caused the anger?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, I went through when I got locked up and I did my time. That's when I really started like psychologically evaluating myself and figuring things out. Um, a lot of issues stem from, I guess when my pops left. So,
Mm.
you start seeking other male guidance, which the people that was you was around or I was around was all gangsters and hustlers and shit like that. So I started seeking that acceptance. So I started being that, which, and then being raised, like my mom's was going a lot. So I kind of raised myself. So nobody really taught me how to deal
So
with my.
you was the only child?
Well,
Ah,
I got brothers and sisters, but they all have brothers and sisters. So
okay.
like they didn't live in the house with me. So mother was a flight attendant. She was going a lot. So it would be like I learned how to cook when I was 10. Like
Oh, we
I was
finna get
doing,
into that. We finna talk about
yeah,
that.
I was doing all my laundry at 10, and like at 10 years old, I was doing things that a grown ass person was doing. So by the time I'm 13, 14 years old, I'm grown. Like so nobody could tell me nothing, and nobody did tell me anything. So like my attitude wasn't checked by when you got that male figure in the house. The man gonna be like, "Hey, calm down. Like, what you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Nah, we don't act like that." And you don't realize that. And a lot of people now, even like these so-called gangsters in the street, they run around and they shooting everything up and they mad all the time and they doing all this. They acting out of anger. Then I realized they emotional. You call them emotional, they're like, I ain't a bitch. Like, nah, anger is an emotion. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that I was emotional because I didn't have somebody there to tell me, nah, this ain't the way to act. Because the people that I was around didn't have somebody to tell them that. They had no OGs to be like, yo, calm down, get this money, do this. That's not how you act. Control your emotions, be this way. But I was angry a lot. And then I kind of had reason to be too. Because, I was at that point, I was getting shot and all this other shit. But I brought all that on myself. When you look back on it, I was like, yeah, I brought all of that on myself because of the
That's
way I was
crazy.
moving.
How you kind of got away from that? Because they say once you in, you in.
Yeah, and I was 100% in. I don't know if you remember in my generation, they always told us, yo, black men don't make it past 21. And you know what I'm saying? And it was a thing that was subconsciously put in our head just so that we act a certain way and be a certain way.
Hmm.
Because that wasn't even a real statistic. They just would say it. You know what I'm saying? And, I made it past 21 and I was 23 when I got locked up. And I was facing 30 years. And, by the time I went through all of that, I came out on bond and everything. So when I got locked up, about a month later, um, my mother came to visit me. She was like, I got news. And I was like, good or bad? She was like, well, depending on how you take it. She was like, yo, you having a kid. She told me my baby mother was pregnant with my son. And it's weird. I always tell people, like, when I got locked up, because at the point of the game I was in, at that point, I was running a bunch of different things. Everybody was relying on me. I Everybody's like, oh, my mother's dialysis. Oh, I need this food. Oh, my kids need to eat. I need this, da da da. And it was like I'm always taking care of everybody. Everybody around me was just leeching and feeding off me. I ain't gonna say leeching because it was a situation where I was put in a position to take care of things. So, but it was so much stress. I was in shootouts all the time, constantly, just wild shit going on all the time. And when I got locked up and I was facing 30 years, it was like, good, it's over. Like it was weird to feel that way.
That is weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird to feel like I'm about to go and do prison time and I'm relieved. But that's how I felt. But then when my mother told me that my son was being born, I'm like, oh no, I really gotta fight this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna turn, I ain't gonna do nothing, but I gotta fight it however I can. So we dropped the money for the lawyer, did everything we could. My Cody, he turned state. He did half the time I did, whatever. I kept it 100. I kept everybody else out of jail, and I did 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I ended up pleading out for six, and I went in there with my head high. Came home with my head high. But within that time, it was like my son was born. I came out on bond. Then I had to go back in to finish my sentence because I had to go to trial and take my time. Within that time, my daughter was conceived. So now I have two kids that I missed both of their birth while I'm in prison. Don't want them to repeat the same steps I did. I don't want them. I don't want my son or my daughter to have that feeling of that anger and that rage and that feeling like they gotta have some other nigga tell them um, how to be a man or a woman. And I was like, yo, whatever happens when I come out of here, like I was rapping before then. I was doing my thing, like I was dropping mixtapes. I was like growing with the rap shit. I was like, yo, if I make it out the streets, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like that's how I saw it. And I was really pushing towards it. But and I was blowing, and it's crazy because when I got locked up, the mixtape I dropped right then was like circulating all throughout the city, and I started having static with Pusha T and all this other stuff. It was crazy. So um, when I got in there, I made a plan. The first couple years it was just like readjusting. I'm in a state I never been in before, fighting with people. But then I got to a point I was just like, man, all right, I gotta fix myself. If I don't want to come back here, if I don't want to do this no more, I gotta figure out what the hell is wrong with me to why I keep acting like this and why I feel like this is the be all end all and what is gonna keep me out of here. So I read books, I studied, I just constantly worked on myself. I started really like delving into myself and figuring out, all right, well, I got daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? I got issues. Like I got problems that I need to iron out. And I started working on those step by step. And of course, when I came home, I wasn't perfect because that was just another form of trauma that I went through. But I told myself I ain't coming back. So when I came home, I dropped a mixtape within, I think it was, I finished recording the mixtape in a week and dropped it within 2.5 weeks. Within a month is when they were still doing downloads. We had like 10,000 downloads on freshnewmixtapes.com. And that site ain't even up no more. But you know what I'm saying? And then we started because we could find where the metrics was. So I started finding where to go to find the shows, and we was going there doing the shows and doing all that. Then I got into stage building, and I just started learning new skills and how to run my label and how to manage on the fly. I came home and did a promotion. I lost $50,000 off the rip coming home doing promotions, but it was taking that loss that showed me, all right, well, don't do that again. Do this. You know what I'm saying? And I took every loss and every lesson and just kept stacking on it. And I understood that I couldn't have the same mentality of, all right, well, I can always run back to the street because it wasn't there for me no more. I got kids, and I got to make sure that they're not going to go to where I went to.
Definitely. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of things to kind of grow from.
Yeah,
As far as like your journey and what, I didn't even know all that.
yeah.
That's a lot to take in. So after you did that, how you got into the acting and things of that nature?
Um, I was rapping forever, and that was always my passion. I used to love it, and then it was. I say I used to love it. I still love it. I guess I don't know. I don't be rapping like that no more. But I was. You know how it's the no middleman rule.
Mm-hmm.
Like fuck the middleman. I started getting to a point where, like, even when I was doing music, early on I started doing recording engineering, like apprenticing. I apprenticed under some real recording engineering people that like some engineers that taught me some dope shit. So, because I wanted to be able to record myself. The only thing I couldn't master was being a producer. Like I can't, I can sit with a producer, but I can't put the keys to the hands and make it nice, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing and everything I ever did was cut the middleman. So I was doing videos. So I'm trying to find videographers, and I'm like, nah, I got a vision for my music, so I want to. I started storyboarding my music. Didn't even know what storyboarding was. I'm drawing out the storyboards to my music to give to the director. Be like, this is what I want. So then I'm like, all right, we're gonna get these shots, this shot. I started studying, trying to figure out what shots were better, and I was acting in my videos because I didn't want just to do in the kitchen stand with the guns. Like I didn't want to be that guy. No shade to anybody doing that, but like that, I just wanted my shit to be different. So I would always have like a cinematic video. So people saw that, and my ex introduced me to my man James Hunter. Shout out to First Dibs because they holding it down like yo for real. Um, and she was like, oh well, he's looking for people. He's been building this thing up. He come from the same background I come from, and he's amazing dude that started this production company. He was doing movies. He was like, yo, well, he needs somebody to act in this or whatever, da da da. I thought I was just gonna get like a side part or whatever. She sold him the video. He was like, yo, he nice. Like he was like, send me a monologue and we can get onto it. So I did the monologue from Flight, the Denzel Washington joints. I'm all
Mm.
emotional and because I'm like, yo, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go. Like I'm gonna go. I ain't know I could act, but I guess something it brought it out of me. He looked at that. She was like, oh, you can act. So the first role I got was a speaking part, and that's unheard of. Like most people just extras and do all this other stuff. So I got a speaking part, and then he started putting me in more joints. Then from there, I started doing things. I did things in Philly, New Orleans, just a bunch of different smaller parts. And I got there, and I was like, yo, as a rapper, I was always a writer and a creative. I think I wrote my first movie when I was in prison. Didn't even know what I was doing, but I was just like, I need to do
Right.
something. Just writing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned the format of how to write. So once they found out I could write, they was like, "Oh, you can write," and they started commissioning me for writing. Now I was going from writing into being in directing. We filming One of the joints I just wrote, Scam City 2. Scam City 1 is on Tubi and Prime and all that now. And it was alright, but I was like, I gotta make it
Better.
way better. Like I gotta go in. You know what I'm saying? And I went in on that script, so we start filming that on in September. So I'm gonna shadow the director because I know how to direct a little bit, but I want to be like fully versed in it. So just been taking the steps and going
Definitely.
in.
I see a lot of actors are now taking that director role. They producing the films
Hmm.
and they're trying to be writers and they're trying to get fully indulged inside of the whole production of the
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah,
Like the Denzel Washington with his series with the Equalizer,
yeah.
or Michael B. Jordan with Creed. Different like people like that are powerful as actors, but now they're even more powerful. Now they know how to do the whole production. So
Hmm.
why do y'all want to kind of take that route as far as trying to grow y'all brand and stuff like that?
Well, see, the fact that they powerful actors just means that they're creatives in general. Because to be a good actor, you got to be somebody that could tap into your creative side and do things like that. So you, as a creative person, you kind of want control of your creativity. Just in anything you're doing, you want to
Hmm.
control your space, what you're doing. So yeah, you're gonna get into the direction side and the writing because now it's like, all right, I want to write the character I'm gonna be. I want to write this whole universe of what I live in, and you know what I'm saying. And then writing, you're writing your character, and then directing it, you get to show your vision, how you see it in your head.
Mm.
Because when you're writing it, that's the thing about me writing movies, and then another director taking over it. I want to shadow them because I want to see what's different about their vision from what they read from what I wrote. Because it's like if you have a dream and you explain it to somebody, you see that dream in your head, like in full color, full vision. You see it, but when you explain it to somebody else, they see it a completely different way because it's how they receive it.
Mm.
So now it's like trying to figure out how that director is going to portray it to the world, and you kind of want to portray your vision a certain way. So as an actor, if you're really nice and you're creative, then eventually you're gonna want to take that path.
So
Then it's
what
money too.
what what takes what makes a good movie for real?
Mm. For me, see, everybody got their own thing. So I'm a person who I want to feel all the feels in a movie. Like even if it's a comedy movie, I want to feel sad at some point or feel like hurt or worried about the character at some point.
Mm.
Um, it's because I get commissioned to write gangster flicks a lot, but I still want to take people through those ups and downs. That's what makes a good movie. When you come out of that movie and you're like, oh man, I felt like I lived that life. Because in life you don't just feel funny all the time or like a gangster all the time or sad, dramatic all the time. You feel different things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm taking you into this person's life or whatever, if I watch a movie, I want to be like, y'all went in there and I lived an entire life within this film. That's what makes a good film to me. Even if it's a comedy, I want to be like, yo, I fell in love, I got hurt, you know what I'm saying?
I laughed a lot.
I laughed, you know what I'm saying? And that's like a good life. The comedy movie is a good life.
Okay. So my question is, you got 5 movies that you feel like you could have starred in. What would be those movies?
Oh, that I could star in?
Yeah, that you will fit your kind of your niche and what you do.
Five.
5 good movies. Cause I'm a movie connoisseur, bro. I love movies.
Mm-hmm.
Movies are some of my favorites. Like I love the Step Up series. I love the Fast and Furious series. I
Mm-hmm.
love Harry Potter. I just love movies
Yeah,
like
yeah,
White Chicks,
yeah,
Rush Hours,
yeah.
all of them. I just finished watching the Ocean Elevens,
The Ocean
Ocean,
Elevens. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Ocean, all the oceans. So I just love movies.
See, see, okay, because I'm gonna look at it from a business standpoint and from a personal standpoint. From a personal standpoint, I'm like, you ever seen Sorry to Bother You?
No.
Oh, you gotta see that. Sorry to Bother You is crazy. It's just like I know you've seen I Am a Virgo, like the you never
No.
seen I Am a Virgo? Ah, you gotta see these movies, man. And it's by the same director. He's dope as hell, and his name escapes me right now. But like those two movies, man, like, and then movies that I know that people would like to see me in would be things like. like Pulp Fiction or like a New Jack City, like a newer version of New Jack City type shit.
Mm.
Um,
I don't want them to recreate that.
no, I don't neither. I never. They never need to recreate that because it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna because and this is a sidebar, but just because it took place in the crack era and like the whole thing of coming up, like that was a time that that movie worked in. If you tried to redo it, it's not gonna be right. It's no.
Just like we was talking about Minister Society.
Yeah,
You can't recreate
you
that.
can't. You can't. I wish that they had made a part two.
Nah.
I do. You know why?
He
Because
died.
we don't know that.
Yes, he did. He was done. He got drive by.
A lot of people survive drive-bys. He got
Yeah,
shot a couple times.
but it
I've
was
been shot a
over,
couple
bro.
times. We don't know that. See, that's the thing. We don't know he died. We don't. You know another movie they should have made a part two to that I actually want to write it, and
What?
I shouldn't even say it because then somebody gonna do it. But Scarface,
Mm.
Scarface died. Yeah, he died. Tony Montana died, but his wife bounced right.
Uh huh.
After you bounced, she left. So I wanted to do the son of Tony. So like she bounced, and the whole time in the movie she's talking about you can't even give me a baby and all this other shit, and she really got pregnant, and then she moved like somewhere else in Miami, and this nigga grew up with a crackhead mother in the '90s because his mother was like on it real bad. I'm trying to tell you, it'd be a crazy movie. I'm gonna write it if they let me. I'm gonna write it. The son of Tony.
I don't know, man. That was a that I when it comes to a movie, it's hard to kind of reincarnate.
But see, I wouldn't be reincarnating. I'm making a whole new movie based on his son.
But you still gotta tap into that.
You got to go as hard as that movie went, if not harder.
That's what I'm saying. That's a
Yeah.
tough task. Like Joker, I
Hmm.
don't think nobody will come after that. Like the
Yeah, no,
new age
no,
Joker.
not the New Age one. But see, nobody thought that you could do the Joker movie because that spins off of the Batman shit. You see what I'm saying? And the way that they did it psychologically was so crazy. Like it brought you into the mind of Joker. And that's kind of where I would want to do the Son of Tony. Like, yo, I want to bring you into like how this kid grew up.
Who would play that though?
I don't know, probably get a reggaeton artist somewhere.
A reggaeton artist.
I don't know because he'd have to be half Cuban and half white. So like I don't know. I don't know who would play it. But even Tony Montana wasn't Cuban. That was De Niro. I mean yeah, De Niro. Was it De Niro?
I
Or
don't
am I
know. I
saying
don't
that?
remember. I don't. I'm bad with names, bro.
Yeah. So he wasn't. He was Italian. He wasn't Cuban. You know what I'm saying? You can get anybody to play it, just as long as you like look half Spanish and half
So
white.
they're coming out with Michael Jackson biography again. How you feel about that?
They're doing like a biopic.
Yeah, again.
I hate biopics, man. It's crazy because I'm writing a biopic right now. But
Why you hate bios? I love biographies.
biopics are no biographies, yes, but a biopic is like the story, somebody acting and playing them and being this
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
because it's a very hard line. It's a very hard line. Like there's only but so many biopics where you're like, yo, that was a great movie. Like you got Ray.
Hmm.
Excuse me, Ray was great. Ray was real good.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx played the hell
He
out of
played
that
the
kid.
hell out of it. But you had Jamie playing it, and like the writers was on point with it. You had
What about
what's
Muhammad
the joint?
Ali?
Muhammad Ali was good, but you had Will Smith playing it. You had good writers on it. Then you have what's the joint? The dude from Queen. Um, they just put that joint out a couple years ago. That was a good one. But there's a lot of them where they fell short. Like I think a lot of people agree with me with the Bob Marley joint. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that great.
What it was y'all like expecting to get from it?
See, this is the thing because
Because
there was a lot of the story that they didn't tell, and that happens in biopics a lot because a lot of it's cut down for time, a lot of it's cut down for consistency of what actually goes. Because when you're writing a movie, everything has to link into each other.
Mhm.
So it was like, so if you're writing a biopic, you got to be like, yo, so okay, so what's the point? Are we telling the story of just this person that lived, or is it a story within what he was living? So, with all the political things that Bob Marley had going on, like they couldn't really tell a lot of the story. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like they just kind of fell short, and they probably filmed a lot of it, and they probably like if you could see the unedited version of it, you would probably be like, "Yo, this is a dope ass movie." But I feel like they left out so much that it kind of just left you like, eh, you know, because the dude
It,
who acted, he was dope.
yeah. I feel like, because I just watched the Amy Winehouse one too.
I didn't know he dropped that. When they dropped
Yeah,
that?
it was like, that be out of the movies, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't see
The
it.
Amy Winehouse one was pretty straight too.
Yeah.
I didn't really know her as a artist or anything like that,
Mm,
but I love bio movies. So I wanted to go watch it just to see what it was about. And I felt I don't know because my stepdad is a director of photography. He shoots
mm.
movies.
Yeah, yeah.
You're into movies. Y'all look at movies from a different
Whole
lens.
different perspective. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like when y'all say stuff like that, it's like, okay, how do y'all see it?
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, it's a hard task, man. Like, even right now, I'm writing a biopic, The Life of Fullbanger, one of the guys that got told on by Takashi 6ix9ine.
Hmm.
So I'm writing his life story. And it's like, yo, you know, when somebody lives a long life of being a gangster and everything, there's so many different things in there that you could put in there. But then it's like, especially when you're writing a movie for somebody who's still alive, who did things that you can still be charged for certain things. It's like, what do you put in there? What do you not put in there?
Hmm.
If you write it and put all of it, you're gonna go over the pages that you're consigned to write. If and then
Or they give you a certain like limit.
well, yeah, you write. Usually, like a lot of these movies, is gonna be between 70 and 80 pages. That's what you want because you want like a 90-minute movie. You don't want to, especially for Tubi and for these streaming services and stuff like that. You want that 90 minute. The perfect movie is that 90-minute movie because it's the window of opportunity where you catch everything and people are still interested and not sitting there like what was that movie? It was like 3 hours, whatever it was, a couple years back. But it was one of those things where it's like I don't want to watch this whole movie. It's a good movie, but it's 3 hours. Um, but then when you write in these movies, you got to figure out what to put in it, and then it's like something that might be really important to the person might not be really important to the storyline.
Mm.
So it's like I said, when you're writing a movie, you have to get to an end point, and all of the things have to connect. Everything in that movie had to make sense. They say if you write it and if you put it in the movie and it doesn't make sense, take it out. If it doesn't if it doesn't have to be in there, take it out. And I think a lot of that happens in biopics in general. So it's like then you just start taking these little parts of their life out, which would have added value to the character, to the person, but it's not important to
What
the
about
storyline.
thrillers? Cause I love thrillers too.
I like thrillers. I do like thrillers.
So what's the difference between like a thriller and a biopic? What does a thriller have that has more than a biopic?
It's just all action. In because it's fiction. It's all action. You feel me? Like so, it's like everything is just in your face. Every couple frames, it's got to be something exciting, something going on, a car crash, or even when you got downtime, it's got to be real cool, and everybody's got to be, chilling, and then, you're chilling, and then
Boom.
boom, you know what I'm saying? Like where with a biopic, you know, like your average daily life is not like just exciting all the time. Like you might be the dopest person in the world, but Jay-Z sits down and takes a shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not an exciting part of his life. Everyday life is just everyday life. So there's certain things that may have even built this character that's not exciting. Whereas a
Mm.
thriller, you don't have to show the character being built. You just got to be like, he's a CIA member. He came out of this war and da da da. And it might show like a flashback from the war, but that's it. Or he grew up crazy, so now he's this.
Like
And
Dexter.
yeah, yeah. You feel me? It's just
Hmm.
gonna show little bits and pieces, but it's not gonna show everything. It's a thriller.
Definitely.
Makes you
So
think.
if you had your own movie,
Mm.
what would it be named and who would play you?
Oh man, I've been asked that before, and I don't want to make a movie about myself. I don't.
But if you had to,
But if I had to, story of resilience. Paul Simon, the story of resilience. And just because I'm so vain as a, a person, egotistical, I'm gonna have B. Jordan play me. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, cause I want all the ladies to be like, oh my god, look at him. Like, yeah, that's all I want. You
So
know what
you're
I'm
not
saying?
doing it for you, do it for the ladies.
I do it for the ladies. That's what it is. Like, fuck it. Let's get the ticket off it. Let's get the ticket. Let's get them in the seats.
Definitely. So you forgot to name your top 5 movies.
I named two of them.
I
No,
need
I
to
named four of them actually.
name them again one more time.
Damn.
You said the I'm a Virgo.
I am Virgo. Because I put that in there though. Damn. No, the top five movies that I should be in.
Yeah. What's your
Um,
top 5 movies in general?
damn.
Some that you like. Let me pop in these 5 real quick.
No, that's hard because even with hip hop, when people ask me the top five rappers and shit, like it's hard for me to do because I'm like,
It's not hard. It's like who you like. Your opinion.
mm, yeah. But I'm one of those people who I see things subjectively, so it's like it's very hard. But if I gotta say, um, my favorites, and I'm not in any particular order, definitely Sorry to Bother You would be in there. Is you gotta see it.
I'm gonna watch it.
You gotta watch it.
What is it on any streaming services?
I think it might even be on Netflix right now.
Okay.
It
I'm gonna
might
look
be,
into it.
but it's on. It was on a lot of different
What
things.
was it about?
Uh it was. It's like these people in Oakland, and it's kind of like a dystopian kind of future a little bit, but it's
Was
like
it
a
with that weird dude that was in Get Out?
yes.
So
He
he
was in.
turned into like a llama, right?
You gotta watch it. You
Right?
gotta
Am I
watch it.
right
It
or
wasn't a
wrong?
llama. It wasn't a llama,
But he
but
turned into something, right?
you
I
gotta
think I
watch it.
watched it,
You
bro.
gotta watch
I
it,
think
yo.
I watched
It's
it.
a dope ass movie, and
It was weird as fuck.
because of the message it has behind it too. And I don't know why I can't
He's a
think of this
great
director's
actor.
name
What's his
because
name?
this director is like Lakeith Stanfield.
Yes,
Lakeith
he's a
Stanfield.
great actor.
But the director is my favorite director right now, and I cannot think of his name right now. And just because I got a microphone in front of me, but for real, like he is a dope ass director, and he makes these
Okay, I
movies.
watched that
He's
movie,
also
y'all.
the one that did I Am a Virgo. You got to watch that too.
Okay, I'm watching. I'm a
Um,
Virgo. I watched Sorry to Bother You. It was on Hulu.
Hulu. It is on Hulu.
I
Yep.
watched it. Yeah.
Sorry to bother you. Yeah, it's crazy. But you got to really look at the message in the movie. I think that's the type of movies I like. Something that's gonna have a message, but it's funny and it's exciting at the same time.
Mhm.
I mean, just generally, I'm Scarface. It's got to be in there,
Mhm.
just because it's a cult classic and what it did for the culture. Um, wow, there's a movie called Idiocracy. It's one of my favorite movies. It's not the greatest movie cinematically, but just the message. I like the message in it. Um,
So you like movies with messages?
I do, but it's got to be entertaining because it could be a message in it and it'd be lame as hell, and I'd be like, "Oh, fuck that movie." You know what I'm saying? But it's got to be entertaining. It's got to be like funny, and it's got to take you through all of the things.
Mhm.
Um, I think Scarface did that too. It kind of did. Man, what I name Scarface.
Sorry to Bother You. I'm a
Sorry to
Virgo.
bother you.
Idiocracy. You got one more.
This is me. I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna think. And I'll be like, damn, I missed so many movies that I should have put in there.
I always be like that. I'm like, damn, I missed this
I
point. I
missed
missed
that
that
one.
point.
Um, one more movie. Yo, it's so many too. I think I'm just gonna go hood and just be like, yo, like Boys in the Hood or something.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I ain't gonna
I
lie.
was just gonna go hood and do that because it's so many other joints like yo if there's like a forum later on and they ask me I'd be like yo I could write down the movies that I really fuck with but right now I can't off the top
Definitely.
I can't think of it.
So, what's next for you? What's your goals? We got 6 months left in the year. What you getting into? What you trying to do? Things of that nature.
Well, of course, building with the company I'm building with, I'm gonna take that creatively and just doing content creation, going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I gotta finish writing this biopic, and after that, I have um, a couple more movies that I'm about to be commissioned for. But I have two movies myself that I'm writing, and I
Wow.
plan on finishing those. Those are like dramedies, and those are like which is kind of hard. It's a hard sell on Tubi and stuff like that with dramedies. If it's not just titties and blood, you know. I mean, you're gonna put titties and blood in it to get them there, but it's So I'm finishing writing those two movies, um, pushing this company a little further, doing the content creation, just doing what I do, man. It's for the rest of the year, I just want to do that. Just keep pushing towards that. Getting into directing more. We're gonna be filming some of the movies I wrote already, so like learning the craft even better and just becoming better at what I do. Like,
Definitely.
you know,
So, who you think
step
more
by step.
toxic, male or female?
um, hmm. With the men that I know, it would definitely be females more toxic. The men that I know,
Why you say that?
because the men I surround myself with are not like very emotional dudes. We operate on logic and do what we do. Um,
For sure.
you know what I'm saying? That's the people I surround myself with. But I do know some niggas is like very toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying? They be on these niggas will break girls' windows and pop their tires and shit like that. I've heard of it because I talk to women. You know what I'm saying? I know how it goes. But yo, I mean, and as far as what I've been around, yeah, I've seen. I think women might be more toxic.
What's the most toxic thing you heard?
Heard or dealt with, or
Both.
oh, the most toxic thing I've heard. Oh man, these dudes. See, I can't even say like because I ain't gonna put nobody personal business out there. But I do know that these dudes will mentally really drag the hell out of chick. These dudes, they be hobosexuals.
What is a hobosexual?
A hobosexual is somebody who deals with a woman just to have a place to live.
Oh.
Hobosexual. He's homeless. He's doing his thing. He's just, you know what I'm saying? He's bouncing from, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then they doing that, and in order to keep the chick, they'll mentally drag them and make them feel like shit and push them down here to make themselves. They down here, so they push the chick way down here to make them feel like you'll never get nobody better than me, just so they still have somewhere to stay, as opposed to going to all that work they put into like dragging this chick down. They could really go out and hustle and do their own thing, but they not really men. They can't do that. So
That's crazy.
I've heard like I got a lot of homegirls like, and I see the shit that a lot of these dudes do, man. And these niggas just, ooh, these niggas terrible
They're
out here,
sick.
sick, sick, bro. I've seen them, and then you get the result of it when you end up dealing with these women later. Like if you deal with these women and then they telling you about their situations, and it's like, yo, okay, so now I know why you so toxic to me. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think people pass on stuff like that?
Because people jump from relationship to relationship. They never take time to heal, never take time to fix themselves.
So if
I've
you
been
dealing
guilty
with,
of it. I've done that same shit.
if you dealing with a girl or you trying to talk to a girl, say you see a girl on the ground, you swipe her, da, da, and she be like, "Well, I'm focused on myself." What would you say to that?
Do that. I want you to do that. Build yourself. Like, and even if we do end up talking or whatever, however it ends up, I want you to still build yourself. I don't want you to focus on me. I want you to focus on you. I want you to heal. I want you to be who you're gonna be because I'm damn sure gonna do the same thing for me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let you take me off my grind or whatever. And plus, if I'm dealing with you and I fuck with you like that, then I want you to be the best you can be, so you can be the best for me, and I can do the same.
Definitely. What you value more, loyalty or respect?
Mm. Those are hand in hand though.
If you had to
I
choose.
know, I know, I know. I'm gonna choose, but they are hand in hand because if you're loyal to somebody, that means you respect them. You're loyal to them because you respect them. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Fuck it, give me loyalty because I know that as long as somebody's loyal, they're gonna do whatever needs to be done to get this thing moving. They're gonna be there for me, and as well as I'm gonna be there for them. And if they can't learn to respect me after that, then I don't know where
No
we at.
talking.
I don't even really need you to respect me. I'll find somebody else to respect me as long as if we loyal, we locked in, we doing our thing.
Definitely. So if you could look back to younger Paul, what would you tell him?
Man, look, You ain't got to get it all right now. You ain't got to risk your life to do everything right now. Life is short, but it's also long as hell, and bullets burn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And situations that you put yourself in now will affect you for the rest of your life. Take the time to actually grind hard at what you love to do now so that you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Definitely. Anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Man, get close to on Tubi real soon. That's
Oh, how was it working with Mr. I forgot his name, but I call him Biggie Smalls. How was it?
Gravy.
Yeah, how was it
That's my
working with him?
dog. That's my dog. He a good dude, Joe. He a real solid dude. Joe. Like, and the first time I met him, like it was just real solid. We kind of linked in and just
Did you
locked in. It
talk
was
about
cool.
him in that role? Did you talk to him about that?
About being a Biggie role?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't talk to him about that. I just, we just kind of kicked it as just two regular people. You know what I'm
I be
saying?
liking to ask those questions, bro.
And
I'm sorry, bro.
see,
If I
I
sit next to a person and I watched them my whole life, or like, not I wouldn't say my whole life, or if I seen them doing something
yeah,
big, I want to ask them the behind the scenes.
but see, it's different though because this is what you do, and like if you're acting with the person, it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Like
How's that weird?
if I'm just okay, if I'm doing the same thing he doing, but see, I didn't ask him those questions, but I did ask him the questions like, yo, how do you get to the level you at? How do I consistently do things like you're doing? I want to pick your brain for things like that because like playing that role, that was a check for him. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like that was a job that he did, and it's like really after you're done doing the movie, you're on to the next one and you're doing what you do. I know that as an actor. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I did that, and then you ask them how it was to play that role. I know everybody's asking them that question.
Mm.
You feel me? So it's like I don't want to.
I'm gonna ask him that too.
Yeah, fuck it. That's what you should do. You know what I'm saying? But me, I want to pick his brain and know like, cause that man eating, bro. Like when I tell you that man's filming he's filming like 2, 3 movies a month, bro.
So he's like
And they giving
eating.
him a bag. Okay, he's getting a bag up front for each movie. A nice bag. I ain't gonna put that man pocket out there, but he getting a nice bag up front for every movie. And then he getting back end money on the movies too, because he working that in the contract. That man eating, bro. So I'm asking the question
So is it
like,
like
yo,
all on Tubi or different places?
mostly on Tubi. You know what I'm saying? You got other places too, but like, why not do it when you like Tubi's paying the most and you have an audience right there and you right at them, that you killing. Why not?
Definitely. So yeah, man. Shout out to Paul, man,
Uh,
coming through. More to come.
I
Excited
appreciate
for
it.
you. Proud of you, man. Keep doing your thing.
Proud of you too, dog. You doing your thing.
For sure.
You know
Appreciate
what
it,
I'm saying?
man. Staying.
We're
Keep
gonna
my
keep
foot on the
grinding.
gas.
We're gonna keep grinding.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Natural hustlers. Like I said, man, me and him sat late nights, early mornings, literally
Facts.
together.
Facts.
I'm just happy to see what he became. And we're going to keep pushing forward, man. But
Same thing, man.
y'all like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for 4,000 subscribers. We on the 2 milli. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. Rest in peace, my man Big Benz, and he always said, "The real always win."
For sure. I like that. Yeah. So, man, y'all keep subscribing. Y'all keep showing love. Y'all tune in. Beach touring away. We start this weekend, so y'all tap in, man. We out. Peace.
Hey, what's that? Turn it up. Hey, what's that?